Hello, everyone. Good afternoon or morning. This might be wherever you are in the part of the world. Thank you so much for joining us for this the last session of 3. I hope of navigating the entrepreneurial journey workshop. I hope you've been having an amazing time. I have been having an insightful time as well with our facilitator, Peju Odaye. So just for, thank you for staying on, those of you that have been with us right from session 1, 2, and now the 3rd one. I appreciate that. But for the benefit of those that are just joining us, peradventure you're just joining us this last session of the 3 sessions. My name is Titi Omole, and I'm one of the directors of Cause for Children Limited, the company that's bringing you an organization, we're not for profit, that's bringing you this particular workshop today. Our aim is to equip our young people so that they may thrive in whatever they want to do. And we do that through the True Little Hero Awards, as well as this particular workshop that you're in at the moment. A set of workshops. We've had so many. So if you would like to see the ones that we did last year, please visit our website. You can see it on screen, www.causeforchildren.co.uk. So it's gonna be an interesting session today. But before I hand you over to the facilitator, just a reminder of our ground rules. Please mute your microphone, and if you have to speak, raise your hand up. We will either unmute you or you can unmute yourself, but once you are finished talking, please mute yourself back. You can switch on your camera if you like, but be mindful that we're recording this session and it's going to be on our website. So if you do not want anyone to see your face, like your privacy, then please do feel free to switch off your camera. Like I said, if you want to speak, you can raise your hands up and our facilitator will call you to answer a question. It's an interactive session, so please feel free to use the chat box to send in your comment, ask your questions, give your feedback, responses during the course of the workshop this afternoon. I ask that you please respect others by being polite and nice when you're speaking or when you're responding to others. Let's cheer other people on when they answer questions. If you have comments or feedback, please send them to causeforchildrenlimited@gmail.com. Cause for Children Limited, that's where you send it to at gmail.com. And on your subject, please put in program. So you put in session, this particular program, which is navigating the entrepreneurial journey, and you put session 3 so that we know what you're doing. A quick call for certificates. We're going to also issue certificate at the end of this session. Please, if you haven't put your name forward, if you have not forwarded your name, please do so. We will be using names that we have on our registration list, except if you've actually corrected your name by email to us. So please do that today if you are yet to do so. Otherwise, it will be the name on that list when you were registering. That will be on the certificate. Right, enough talking. We would like to get to know about you. But before we do that, I'm going to hand you over to the facilitator, that is Ms. Peju Odaye, and then she will take you through the rest of the session. Enjoy your session.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are all good. I hope you have had a lovely week so far. And I hope you're excited about today's session, because I am. I've had such a great time with you guys over the last 2 sessions, and I'm excited for this last session with you guys. So before we start, as we normally do, we want to know about you, and it is something that we need you guys to do every week. So if you could please go to slido.com and put in the code on the screen, and just fill out that quick survey. It should only take you about a minute or two, and then we can get started. So please, slido.com, fill in that code. We want and need everybody to actually complete it. So I'm just going to give you guys 2 quick minutes to do that. Okay, so I'm going to make a start now. I hope most of you have completed it. If you haven't, please do so as soon as possible. So the outline for today's session. So in our first session, we talked about why entrepreneurship and what entrepreneurship is. We spoke about your mission and your vision and why you want to start a business. In the second session, we worked through what needs to go into your business plan. And today we are going to be talking about branding and actually launching your business. So we are setting you up to launch. So that's what we are going to be doing in today's session. I've got a marketing strategist who is going to come up here and also tell you guys how to create a marketing strategy and what to do for your business. But before we move into today's session, just a brief recap from last session. We talked about market research. We talked about competitor analysis, so finding out who your competitors are, looking at what they do, the value that they offer, how much they charge. Then we went into SWOT analysis, and that was your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And then we spoke about finances, the money that you need and how much you're going to charge, what your expenses are going to be, those different type of things. And then we spoke about operations and logistics. How are you going to deliver your service or your products to your consumer, payment methods, manufacturing, etc. So that was what we kind of spoke about last week. And then we went into then you guys were supposed to create a business plan. So I don't expect you guys to have completed every single thing, because towards the end of the business plan, there's a section on marketing, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. But we did ask that you should complete the first 2/3 of the business plan. And so we do want people to present. You won't be presenting the whole business plan. It will be different. So different people will present specific pages of their business plan. So I hope we have some volunteers and I won't have to pick people, but if we can get someone to just put your hands up if you want to present on this page of your business plan. So, we've got somebody already, fantastic. So if Delcy, if you could present on just page 6 of your business plan, that will be fantastic. So go ahead and unmute yourself and let's hear it.
Hi. So for that one, what I did, the business name, what I did for it, I said Celeste, which is heavenly in French. So that's the name of my business. Why do I want to start my business? Because I enjoy being like doing my own work and doing my own thing and making money and stuff like that. Why do I think I would succeed? Probably because I have a lot of perseverance when it comes to these kind of things. So I know what I want to do and like how I want to do it, and things like that. The details of future training courses, I wasn't really sure what to say for that one.
Okay, thank you, Delcy. So what is the business idea?
I want to sell clothes.
Clothes, okay.
Yeah.
So in selling, what type of clothes? In selling clothes, what problem are you solving?
Probably T-shirts, hoodies, joggers, tracksuits, leggings, shorts, and like clothes like that, basically.
Awesome. And do you have any previous experience with this, or qualifications or education on this?
No, but I do want to do it as a subject for my GCSE.
Okay, awesome. So so that would fall under details of future training to complete, because it's a subject
Yes.
you're going to do for your GCSEs.
Okay.
You know, even coming on a course like this is also you've been able to gather and learn and put together information that you would require to actually set up your business and launch your business. So that's actually amazing.
Thank you.
Really good. Thank you so much. So do we have anyone else that would like to present on page 8 of the business plan? Anyone, or do I have to call on somebody? Come on, guys. Okay, there we go. So Angela, Antoinette, and Emmanuel. So which one of you is going to be presenting?
It's Angela.
Okay, go on, Angela.
So what I was going to say for business is.
Sorry, we can't hear you properly. Can you?
Okay, sorry. Okay. What I was going to sell for my business was birthday cakes, wedding cakes, and cupcakes for different occasions.
Your audio is going
to sell birthday cakes, wedding cakes, and cupcakes for all kind of occasions for all my customers, and then the different type of products. Oh yeah, what I was going to sell is cakes for all kind of occasions, and the different products will be wedding cakes, birthday cakes, and cupcakes for what the customers demand.
Okay.
And then my value proposition is that whatever my customers desire, I make it come to life, and when they taste it, it's the best thing that they ever tasted. So I make their life more enjoyable and more happy.
That's amazing. I really love that. So well done so much for that, Angela. Okay, so the next page is the page on your demographics. So this is the market research page. So page 10, have we got anyone that is happy to share that? Well done, Angela. And guys, you know, it is important to just try and, you know, vocalize and let us know, because it would also be important. It would also help us know where we can help and support you. So with Delcy, for example, thank you for sharing your business plan, and I am I'll be happy to support you as you go along this journey, to help you pick up on different things, and you know how to launch and the different things that you need as you go along your business. So guys, please do share so that we can know how we can support you to actually launch your business and to be successful in your business. So if I don't have any volunteers, can we have someone that hasn't been chosen before? Okay. Can we have Amelia?
Hi, Peggy. The girls haven't been able to do it. Sorry.
Okay.
The girls are Ivy and Janice. I'm the mom.
Oh, okay. Marvella?
I'm doing a skincare product business. So the people who are my target audience are people like with like really like bad acne, and So like the problems that my customers are facing are like acne and like eczema and stuff. And where does my ideal, okay, like Southeast London, where does my ideal customer live? And 4 channels. Demographics, so the gender and the age. So people, so like for females and people around the age from 13 to 18. And my solution, how I will solve these problems are by helping people that are in a lot of need. And like, for example, like my friend, she has like acne, so like I want to do something to help her. And will prompt customers to buy my service if I work really hard to my ability and like the skincare that's work for them, and then they can promote me even more so I can get more customers. And yeah, that's what I put.
Okie dokie. Thank you for sharing, Marbella. In terms of your location, do you live in South London?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say don't box yourself to just South London. I would say London as a whole. You can even expand it to England, but I would say London as a whole is fine, because you can post it to people all across London. Like it doesn't have to be just Southeast London, because you have so much potential all across London, all across the UK even. And then in terms of your solution, what I would like you to do in your own time as you go along and you build on your business plan is to actually be a bit more specific with your solution in relation to how exactly is your product helping them get rid of their acne, if that makes sense? And how do you want your customer to feel after they've used your product? So it could be that, once their skin's clearer, they're more confident, things like that. It could be in relation to, people not having to feel like they have to wear makeup all the time because they have such smooth and clear skin. Just think about the different things. And I would say use your friend as the example, since it's actually someone close to you. How do you want her to feel as a result of using your products? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But thank you so much for that. Well done.
Thank you.
So we have Evelyn who wants to share. We're not getting people to share their whole business plan. It's just a page from the business plan. So if we can have Evelyn share her SWOT analysis, please. To share your SWOT analysis for us, please.
Yeah.
So what exactly is that?
Like many online banks that like make banking like more convenient for customers.
Amazing. Okay. So what's your SWOT analysis?
So I think like the strengths would be like because online banks are like easier for people, like they don't have to go to the bank every time to like transfer things. I think that would be the strength. And then the weakness would be like, because like the market is full of like bigger banks like HSBC, it will like harder to get customers. And then opportunities is like more people are open to technology, so which makes it like easier. And then advertising to like make people aware of the bank would be easier through social media instead of like wasting money on like billboards and all. And I think the threats will still be like competition, because the bank will still like have to go a long way to captivate customers and move them away from their like local banks.
Yeah. Well done. That's fantastic. So just from understanding you, is it something like Monzo?
Oh yeah.
Amazing. That's really, really good. Well done. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, and then our finance page. So the first finance page, can we have Faye share on this, please?
Price my product is I'll price it. I would like you said last session, I would look at other businesses that are similar to mine, and I would see how they price it and use it for how I would price mine. And
have you been able to go through and actually do the calculations to know how much it will cost you for your product and to price it and things like that?
Not yet, because I want when you buy the product like for your business, then obviously I would total the amount that I've spent, and then when it comes to selling the product, then I would like I'll price it in a way where I would still get profit out of it.
Okay, so what's your product going to be?
I'm doing hair for people.
Okay, so you want to calculate the products that you're actually going to be using. I think when it comes to services, just a point for everybody, when it comes to pricing your services, also think about how long it takes you to do that. So for you, for example, if you're going to be putting prices on different hairstyles, how long does each of them take you to do? And how much products do they require? So it won't be a set price for every style that you do, for example. But yeah, well done, Faye. So has anyone actually been able to do the actual calculations to know how much it would cost them to actually set up their business, or what their expenses will be? That might be actually a better one. Even if you haven't done the calculations on, do you know what your expenses are going to be? Do you know how much you might need to actually start your business?
It'll probably take us like, I think like £10 to get the bundle of the supplies that we need.
Okay, do you know what your projected expenses are going to be? Like, what are the things that you're actually going to need to pay for regularly?
Well, I think we'd have like this thing where we pay a sum of money every month to get the full package of the polygon animation thing. So I think that it's like every month we'll have to be paying the money.
Okay, so it's a subscription. Is it for like a software or something?
Yeah, like for an app.
Okay, for an app. Nice. Okay. And in terms of, is that the only expense that you're going to have? Is that the only thing you're going to need to pay for before you start?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, amazing. Well done, guys. Well done for working on your business plans. I would say keep working at it. Try and be more specific with your business plans so that you know what exactly you are working towards when it comes to launching your business, and try and do as much research as you can. So well done for sharing your business plans, guys. I'm excited to see how all these amazing business ideas come to life. So well done for that. So we're just going to go into our session talking about branding. So can you guys just share with me in the chat when you think about a brand, when the word brand comes to mind, what would you define a brand as? What is a brand? Just put it in the chat, guys. Let's hear from you. A logo to represent your business. that's part of it. That's part of branding, a name or a logo unique to the business. Okay. Yes. So when it comes to names and logos, those are part of creating your brand. So that's part of branding. But actually, a brand, yes. So what Rebecca said, a brand is a name / symbol that represents your business. So when you think about a brand, it's about, you know, if you think about what people would define a business as, or how people would differentiate one business from another, that's essentially it. So obviously sometimes with a logo, you can say, okay, well, this logo is this business. So, you know, you have all these different bottles of water, and, you know, people would say water is water, right? But how do you differentiate between these different products? It's because of the way they've branded themselves. So it is essentially how you distinguish one seller's product or services from others in the market. So how do you want to be distinguished from your competitors in the market? So like you guys rightly said, you know, you said a logo or a symbol or a name. So yes, it's like, you know, the image or the idea that people have in mind when they're thinking about a specific product. So if you think about, if I just throw out a name, if I just throw out Asda, what comes to your mind? As soon as I say Asda, is it the fact that they have that the color green? Is it the fact that, you know, their slogan? Is it their logo? What comes to mind as soon as I just shout a business name? If I just say Tesco, what comes to mind? For me, it's Every Little Help, but that's their slogan. That's part of their brand. So what idea do you have? What comes to mind when you think about a business or a service or a product? And it, you know, it ties into the overall experience a customer has when they interact with the business. So when people come to you, for example, Faye, to do their hair, you know, how do they feel? What's the experience they get? Or, you know, if they buy your skincare product, for example, Marvella, you know, how do they feel once they've used it? So just things like this for you to be thinking about. And like you guys rightly said in the chat, it can be done in form of a name, a tagline, a symbol, a design, or any other feature. So we now talk about branding. So we've said what is a brand. How do you then brand yourselves essentially, and how do you brand your businesses? So when we talk about branding, it's actually the strategy designed to help people identify your business, to give them a reason to choose yours over other people's. So it requires touching the hearts of your customers. It's about an emotional connection you make with your customers. If you think about how do we feel once we've been to, I don't know, it's just hair come to mind because we're just talking to Faye. How do you feel when you go to a salon? You know, is it that, you know, they give you water? Is it that they give you tea and coffee? Is it that they make you feel pampered? They give you a massage? Or if you go to the barbers, for example, is it the conversations you have while you're there? So just things that you think, just thinking about the overall experience and what you want people to leave with once they come in contact with your business. And then that ties into your marketing, that ties into your advertising as well. So communicating your product with people, how do you actually show and share the value that you offer as a business? How do you interact with your customers as well? Branding gives your business an identity, and it gives your consumers something to connect with and relate with. People want to be able to connect with the brand. That's how they're going to be more inclined to purchase from you, because they can connect with you, because they can relate with you, and because they have an emotional connection with you. And it makes your business memorable. It really does. So what you know, how do people remember you and keep coming or refer you to other people? And like I said before, it supports your marketing and advertising efforts. So we're going to go into a little game. You know, we like our games. This time around, we're actually going to be doing the game on here, not on Kahoot, because I actually want you guys to type the answers in the chat. And it's about who gets it right and who types it in the fastest. So we're going to guess the logo. Since you guys spoke about logos, and logos are very important, I want, as soon as I put the logo in on the screen, I want you guys to tell me what company this is. So, first one. Yes, so I think Rebecca and Rachel got that one first. And then the second one, yes, that's Twitter. Yes, okay, guys. Next one. Yes, that's Google. Who knows this one? Yes, come on, Tenny. And this one? Yes, that's Pringles. This one? Apple, absolutely. This one? Yes, Domino's, it's Domino's. Okay, so guys, if you think about how quickly you were able to just tell what company this is, literally just by their logo, it's something for you to think about when it comes to creating your logo. It's something something to think about when it comes to also creating your brand. It's very important for you to create something that is memorable, something that people can easily identify and say, yes, I know this logo, I know this company. You know, this is Iman's, you know, the banking app, or, you know, this is the skincare product that somebody told me about, you know, or this is the animation business, or this is the cake business. You know, let your logos be a true representation of who you are. You know, as you look at some of these logos, they're quite simple, quite clean, but because these people have also branded themselves in a certain way, and they've created an emotional connection with their customers, you are able to just easily identify these companies. So I've said to you guys what a brand is. I've said to you guys what branding is and why it's important. I'm now going to talk you through actually how to brand your business. So branding. There's different parts, there's different things to think about when it comes to branding your business. So the first thing is visual design. And, you know, a lot of people said, you know, your logos, and absolutely logos are very, very important. The visual representation that you have and that people have of your business is so key when it comes to branding. So your business name is important. You know, you don't want a business name that's complicated or that's not easy to remember. Definitely have something that people would remember, that people will connect with. Sometimes it's good to have for it to have a nice meaning. So they'll see, for example, you said what your business name is and you actually told us what it means. Again, already creating that emotional connection, because it's like, oh wow, this is what this means, and I can identify with that. Your logo, again, make it very visually appealing. It doesn't have to be so complicated. It can be simple, like some of the ones we saw. It can be something that's unique to you, that's a true representation of your brand, so that when people see that logo, they're like, oh yeah, I know this business, or this is that business. They can actually use it to identify your business. And then your color palette is also important when it comes to branding, that you are quite consistent in the things that you're doing. So, you know, select maybe 3 colors or so that you know are your brand colors. So I use Starbucks here as an example. You know, when we see Starbucks, we know that, okay, yeah, this is them. And, you know, look at their website and look at their logo. We know that their color palettes are the greens and the white and like the gold. That's their color palette. So if we see anything out there, we know that, yeah, this is Starbucks. When you look at their cups, it's white or clear, but it has their green logo on it. It's about keeping things seamless and smooth, and ensuring that things are actually consistent, so that everything speaks to that brand, everything speaks to that company. So even the font that you choose, you know, there's certain companies and we see the font that they use on like their posters, and we know definitely this is this company, just because of the font that they've used. So like with Nike, for example, there's certain posters that they create, and you just know that this is theirs even without seeing their logo, because they use the same font. So try and keep your font consistent. So if like you're creating a poster or your website, try and keep the font the same, so that, you know, if people know that this is that business and it's not confusing. And again, like I said, your website as well, that's, you know, sometimes that's the first thing that people see when it comes to your business. They might not see you, they might not have a chance to speak to you, but does your website speak to what your business is about? And does it look visually appealing? And then the next thing is your brand voice. So how do you speak as a brand? So we spoke about I spoke about tagline, and I said, you know, Tesco, what comes to mind is every little helps. And there is a part on your business plan that speaks about strapline. Strapline and tagline, they're the same thing. So I would really encourage you guys to actually try and think about how you're going to create that and what you're going to say. So, you know, just like a phrase that people would remember you guys by. So with Nike, we know just do it. That's their tagline, that's their brand. But actually, there's a message behind saying just do it. It's not just do it for the sake of saying just do it, but they want their customers to actually understand that they actually want the company to understand that they want their consumers, their customers to understand that they can actually be quite empowered. So they're trying to empower them by saying, just do it, you know, you can go for it. You know, when we spoke about their mission, remember we spoke about their mission in the first session, and their mission was saying that, you know, everybody is an athlete, and they're pushing for innovation, and they're pushing for people to go for it. So then that ties into them saying, just do it, because it's empowering people. So I really want you guys to think about your strapline and really try and use that and push that when it comes to your branding. So here we have them. And then your bio. So obviously your bio, it would be on like your social media pages, and that's the first thing that people see as well when they come in contact with your business. So I have an example of Fenty Beauty. So this is Rihanna's beauty line, and if you look at their bio on Twitter, it says the new generation of beauty. Now, what does that make you think or feel when you see that? Just by, you haven't even purchased any of their items, you just see the new generation of beauty. What does that make you feel like? It's important to try and connect with your consumers emotionally when you are actually, you know, creating your brand. And that also comes down to your bio, even on social media, on Twitter and Instagram. It's the first thing, like I said, that people see. It's the first interaction they have with your business. Your captions as well. So when it comes to your voice, your brand voice, do you want to be formal? Do you want to be fun? Do you want to be you want to be a bit in the middle? Like, what do you want to speak on, from first person, from third person? You know, it's very important for your captions as well on social media to be quite engaging and interactive, and also for it to speak to what you stand for as a brand. Try and communicate your mission, your vision, your purpose, your values, even through your captions, but also try and engage with your customers through that as well. Your tweets, we have examples of different companies who are on Twitter who are actually engaging with their customers on Twitter because they make some funny tweets, or they make sure that when there's something that's going on that's trending, they try and tap into that as well. And then the wording on your posters and your flyers, again, like I said, try and keep it consistent. Don't be too if you're going to be formal in your posters, or if you're going to be formal in your captions, then try and keep it consistent the whole way through. If you're going to be a bit more casual, just because you understand your audience, then keep that the same. Make sure that your posters also like that as well. So I've got some examples of some pages on here, just talking about social media, because that's another thing that's very important when it comes to branding your business. How do you portray yourself on social media? And we're going to talk about social media later on in the presentation on marketing strategy, but I think it's very important for you guys to also know that even your visual representation on social media is very important. Your captions on social media are very important. So remember, I used Starbucks in the previous slide. You can see their brand colors, you can see their logo, you can see what they're about on their social media as well. Everything is consistent. I've got Pretty Little Thing here. What you can see about their social media is that they actually they have models on there, but they also have real people, so we can connect to the real people who are wearing their clothes. So it makes me feel, okay, actually I can wear this, I can buy this because there's people that look like me on your page. And then remember I used Nike as an example. Their font is the same all the way through with their posters. So also try and think about that when you're creating your posters as well. Oh, what just happened? Sorry, 1 second. There we go. So I want to hear from somebody. How do you think that you can communicate your branding through customer service? So I've touched on it a little bit, but I do want to find out from you guys how you think you can translate your brand through customer service. So, you know, social media, website, logo, that's one side of things, but how do you think you can do it through customer service? Does anyone want to take a shot and just unmute yourself and let me hear from you really quickly? So how can you, as a business, if you just think about your business and what you have in mind, how can you create an emotional connection with your customers? How can you brand yourself? How can you keep that consistency through, even in your customer service? Who wants to give it a shot? Okay, I think I would choose somebody to just try.
We could do that through like what we offer them and how we present ourselves to the customers, and what sort of for like customer service, like what sort of things are we offering that they'd like, and if we offer it to them, what would they think of us?
That's very good. Well done. Thank you so much for answering that question. So yeah, you are actually spot on in terms of what you've said. So one way is your emails as well. So remember I spoke about your brand voice in terms of your captions and the things that, and how you communicate as a brand. I think also when it comes to your emails as well, how you communicate via email with your customers is very important. The experience that you want them to have if they come to your store, or if you're an online brand, you know, even if they don't see you face to face, how you interact with them online is also quite important. You know, responding to their DMs, responding to their emails, sending them thank you emails once they've bought from you, or when they come into the store, you know, them being greeted with a smile, with a hello, is part of your branding. Your mission, your values, and your promise. I think communicating that to your customers is also important. And that's why we did that in the first session. So I think it's important for you guys to make sure you continue to communicate that to people. And, you know, what is your brand promise? What are you promising that they would leave with if they come and they purchase from you? So an example I would use will be Apple. So their message actually highlights the same qualities in their consumers and that what they communicate in their products. So they say that, you know, if you're an Apple person, then you're innovative, you're imaginative, and you're creative. So think about if you were to purchase an Apple product that's innovative, that's imaginative, that's creative, I'm also going to feel like, well, if they're saying that, you know, as their customer, that's who I am as well. It's going to make me also feel like, yes, actually, I'm actually quite innovative. I'm actually quite creative. And I'm using this product to also help me to actually tap into my creativity or tap into that innovation. So that's just an example of a brand message. You know, what is the message you want to communicate to your customers, and how do you want them to feel? So yeah, there we have some Apple products. And then in your pricing as well. So we spoke about finance last week, but actually sometimes it's important to know that you can actually brand yourself through your pricing based on the value that you're adding. So I don't know if you guys know about the car Tesla. They actually don't put their prices up on and tell people what you know, what they actually do is they focus on the quality, they focus on the value that they're offering as a brand. So they know their target market. So if you are a luxury company, for example, you can actually brand yourself as a luxury company through doing that. So showing the value, even the type of pictures you post, the type of photo shoots you do, for example, the way you speak, your brand voice, the way you put your caption, your bio. If you want to be known as a luxury brand, for example, that has to come out in all those different ways. And then packaging is something that I love. So for some of you who want to sell products, how do you package your product? How does it look? You know, do you have a sticker on it that has your label? Do you have like a nice box that has your label on it? You know, if you're making clothes, you know, does it have your logo on the label of the clothes? You know, little things like that actually also tie into branding. So for example, we have LV, Louis Vuitton, and you see their brand, their logo all over their bags. You know, some of their bags, it has it imprinted, some of their bags, it has it just on the top, but you know that this is a Louis Vuitton bag once you see it because of the way they've branded themselves. And I think also, even if you weren't selling a product, if you were a service person, you can also brand yourself through your uniform or your badges. So for example, I have an events company, and obviously we are a service-based company, but whenever we are working at any event, people know it's us because we have a specific way that we dress. We have badges that show that this is who we are. So that's also part of branding. That's also part of your packaging. So how do you create your brand? So I've said all these things, but how do you actually create your brand? So the first thing is to actually determine who your target audience are. And we've spoken about that last week, you know, who is your target audience? Who are you trying to target? And then establish your mission statement, which we've also done. Why, your why? What is the purpose behind your business? And then define what your values are, what your features are, and also the benefits. I think the benefits and the features are also very important, because what are you offering and what do people get as a result of this? It's very important for you to be able to communicate that to your customers, because that's going to make them more inclined to purchase from you. Then create your visual assets. So we spoke about the visuals, your logo, your website. These are the things that you should try and work on, your posters, your flyers, whatever you're creating. Create those visual assets that are very appealing, but they're also consistent with your message. And find your brand voice. You should determine how you want to communicate your business to other people. And then put your branding to work. So do the visuals, do the brand voice, do the customer service, and do the packaging like I spoke about. So some things to remember when you are creating your brand. Be distinct. So make it stand out from your competitors so that it catches people's attention. Like this Apple logo. It's so simple, but as soon as we see it, we know that, yeah, this is Apple. How come? Because it's distinct. It's not the same as others. Memorable. So you want to create a visual impact. Make sure it's memorable, that people can see it, people can remember it in their minds. Scalable and flexible. Make sure that it's something that can grow and evolve as your brand grows. As you grow, as you're 2 years in, 3 years in, 10 years in, you can make changes, you can increase, you can grow. So make sure that it's flexible and it's scalable, and you're not just stuck to one specific style or way of doing things. Cohesive. Make sure that every single part all complement each other and complement with the brand identity. So your visuals, your website, your brand voice, your customer service, your packaging, make sure that everything is consistent, that they all complement each other. And it's not that, you know, your packaging is like orange, for example, with like white font, and then your website is like purple. Like make it that they complement each other so that people can easily identify your brand and they know that this is definitely your brand. And then easy to apply. You know, don't make it so hard for, if somebody was supposed to come on board with you to help you with your marketing, for example, or to design something, it's hard for them to work with. Make it easy to apply to your brand, to your packaging, easy to apply to your website, you know, easy to apply to your social media. And that is me on branding. I know I've spoken quite a lot, but I hope that you guys have been able to gain something in relation to how you actually create your brand. So we're going to actually take a 5-minute break really quickly for you guys to, go to the loo if you want, have a cup of tea, coffee, water, whatever. And then we'll be back at 12:30. And then we will. So I have their marketing strategy, one of them being Converse. And he's going to talk to us about marketing today and how you guys can create your marketing strategy so that you are set up to launch your business successfully. And his name is Shibomi, so I'm going to get him to come on and share his presentation. He also just so happens to be my brother. So I'm not biased or anything, but he is actually really good at what he does. So if I can just get you to share your presentation with us, please, Shibomi.
Yeah, I think you'll need to make me a host.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. So happy to be here. Happy that you guys are using this time to just learn about marketing, learn about branding, and hopefully you guys can create something great with all the advice we give you. But yeah, really looking forward for that. I'm going to share my screen now so you can see my presentation. So just a little background about me, like Paige said. 1 second. Background about me, like Paige said, I started off doing marketing in my second year of university, where I was basically building a review platform. I used to love Netflix. I still kind of do, but I don't have as much time to watch it. But I always used to watch Netflix, always used to watch so many different series and films. And instead of me just watching them and not doing anything with it, I decided, let me start writing reviews for it. So as I started writing reviews for it, I built a whole Instagram page, created a website, started sending out emails, all this kind of stuff. And I also did a few film screenings where I was able to show, to do like a film screening with everyone coming together to a cinema. We watch a film together, then we play some games, and we also discuss and review the film together. So this is what got me started in marketing. I just started to learn a lot. And then luckily I managed to go over to Converse, where I was able to do the first Black History Month in UK that they did last year. So it was an idea I came up with in February. I managed to bring it to life in October. So it was a really great opportunity for me. And then as that happened, I was also building my digital marketing agency on the side. And as soon as I finished my time at Converse, I just decided to go full-time in work I do now. So creating marketing strategies, websites, digital assets for businesses and brands. So I help people optimize their digital presence. So that is just a quick background in terms of what I do. We'll leave some time after for you guys to feel free to ask me any questions you have as well, marketing related or just in business or life. So the objectives for this presentation is for you guys to all have a clear understanding of what marketing is and what it entails, understanding different marketing methods, and learning how to create a marketing strategy. So does anyone know what marketing is? Can anyone in the chat tell me what marketing is, your own definition of it? I can't see the chat function, so I'm just going to quickly. There we go. Selling your product. Cool. Anyone else have a definition for marketing? When someone says they're marketing their business or marketing themselves, what do you think they're doing? Social media. Cool. Anyone else other than Pedro and Angela? There we go. Advertising your purpose. Love that. A way to promote your business. Definitely. Any other definitions quickly before we go into the Google definition? Okay, cool. So I would say, so this is the Google definition. Second. Way to promote your business. Cool. So, sorry, forgive me. So what is marketing? Marketing is the action of promoting and selling products or services, which includes market research and advertising. So a lot of the time it is actually a whole, so Pedro talked about branding, but marketing also includes promoting your or selling your products and services, as well as market research and advertising as well. So when we say market research, it's understanding who your customers are, where they're based, what they like, what type of content they would like to receive, how best to sell to them. And advertising is just a way in which you can translate that in a very creative way, whether that is an advert on TV, whether it's an advert on social media, that kind of stuff is what entails and is part of the marketing process as well. So what is everyone's favorite marketing campaign? So once again in the chat, could you just let me know what your favorite marketing campaign is? Oh. Apple helps definitely. Nike. Oh, Burberry. Expensive taste, man. But yeah, they do great advertising, especially with what they're doing, Marcus Rashford as well. Starbucks, definitely. IKEA, for sure. McDonald's, McDonald's. Da 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 da. I'm loving it. Yeah, that's definitely the story behind that as well. Super interesting. Samsung, yeah, but Samsung doesn't beat Apple though. That's just my opinion. Yeah, KFC does a great job when it comes to marketing for sure. Any other campaigns? Clothing brands, tech, M&S. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, they do good advertising and marketing as well. Cool. So I put together ASOS. ASOS is really good. I put together some. So this is the Just Eat. Amazon is just great with everything they do, really and truly. So great one, Jackson. This is the Just Eat. So with Snoop Dogg. Let me know if you guys have seen that. Just say yes if you have in the chat. That was quite a cool campaign actually. Very random. I don't know how it came about, but yeah, I like it. Snoop Dogg rapping on a beat, talking about ordering food off Just Eat on TV every time. Yeah, it's definitely a good one. The Just Do It one as well. Nike, how they created the whole campaign around that, and now it's something that sticks with them throughout is really good. The Compare the Meerkat one as well, how they managed to come up with that was super interesting with Compare the Market and Compare the Meerkat, and how they were really able to create something long lasting with that as well. Then the Go Compare man as well, this advert, this marketing campaign has been crazy. They've been doing it for a very long time, and it's very interesting to see different ways they reinvent himself in the marketing campaign. And Pepsi always do some good ones as well. Coke do a lot of great marketing campaigns, seasonal campaigns as well, especially during the Christmas time, where they always do like their annual Christmas adverts. Pepsi does a lot of marketing when it comes to sports, events, those kind of stuff. And Walkers as well. So this is Jamie Lineker, who's the face of Walkers. He's been face of Walkers for some time now. But yeah, very, very interesting marketing these brands do, and there are a lot of other brands that do great marketing as well, but these are just more of the bigger brands that just pop into the mind whenever I say what's my favorite marketing campaign. So how does marketing work? So marketing essentially is attracting customers to buy from you. The way you do it is through your messaging. So how you're communicating what your product is or what your service is, how it's going to change their lives, how it's going to make their lives easier, what type of experience they'll gain through your product or your service, and why you're the best. So people do this in many different ways. People could do a 60-minute TV advert or a YouTube advert, or they could even do, for example, a photo on Instagram, different methods and ways people can communicate how their business or their brand or service is going to change your life, or why you should buy from them. So there's a whole process that comes in when it comes to marketing. There are many different methods in marketing that we can talk about. So brands market through posters, TV adverts, social media marketing. Some brands also market through word of mouth as well. So if they, for example, when Pedro mentioned your customer service, if you have great customer service and you treat every customer well, your customers will start marketing for you and start telling people why they should buy from you, how easy it was to buy from you, and why your product is life-changing. And then just also everyone having your product gives people more of a inspiration or more of an aspiration to go and buy the product as well. For example, everyone has iPhones, so you start thinking, okay, cool, iPhone is the must-have phone. So even stuff like that goes into the marketing, especially when it comes to products as well. So how you design your product to make sure that people enjoy the experience they have with the product, but also they start screaming and raving on about it to get other people to now participate and buy from you as well. So marketing can help a business grow and expand its customers. So people market to different markets as well. For example, you can market to people over in Europe, even how you market to people, for example, in UK compared to Sweden, compared to France would be very different, because everyone is different. Different countries have different ways of messaging and ways in which they receive stuff as well. So marketing can help you expand your customer audience, your customer base, as well as enter new different markets as well. So that's the super interesting thing about marketing. And that's one thing I love the most, because I can do a campaign for over in the UK, but the campaign I'll do for the US will be extremely different, just due to, like Pedro said, the tone of voice they have, how Americans receive things will be very different to how Africans or how Europeans receive things. Then you have to dig deeper into the countries as well. So that's how marketing works. That's just a rough overview. So like I said, people also market through social media. So businesses can use social media platforms such as Facebook. I know you guys are a bit too young for Facebook. It's probably past your time. Even I already use Facebook as well. I'm mostly on Instagram, Twitter. I've been on TikTok a lot recently. Let me know if you guys are on TikTok as well, and any of the businesses that you come across on TikTok that you think are doing really well. And yeah, so you use these social media platforms to market yourselves and engage with your customers over time. So when it comes to social media is mostly for building your brand, for really engaging with customers. It's not so much trying to get sales, but social media is part of that funnel, in terms of someone comes across your product through social media, come across your business or service through social media. That could lead them to going onto your website to see more information about you guys, what your product is, what your product has, the descriptions, why people should buy from you, and also what other people are saying about your product as well. And then that's where they can check out and stuff like that. But social media is really great for you to engage with your customers, to show them what you're doing, what you're up to, what other people are saying about your product, and really building a community there as well. So over here, this is just an example of Ryanair. Ryanair do one of the best TikToks. The videos they come up with, especially now where not many people are flying, but they're still able to keep their customers very much engaged. Like for example, a TikTok video has 4.1 million views, and that's not in that many days. So if you can just imagine how they market it how do you market an airline on TikTok? I feel like that is super fascinating. And there's other businesses on TikTok as well that just create engaging content just to keep the customers engaged. And hopefully, for example, when business is back up and running where you can book flights naturally, a lot of people have Ryanair top of their mind. But also you can market differently depending on the social media platform. For example, TikTok is very good for quick videos, quick, funny, engaging videos. Instagram is more for photos, looking good. Twitter is more for conversations, so replying to stuff. You don't really post that many videos on Twitter. They don't really do as well. For example, same as photos, I found out. But Twitter is more for typing and engaging, for example, using threads or using different ways to speak to customers or answering customers when they kind of have a problem with customer service or whatever it is. So there are different ways you can market on different social media platforms. So one advice I always say is don't just copy and paste for all social media platforms. Make sure there's a difference and it's very much organic and authentic to the platform and to your brand as well. So here are some key tips on social media marketing. And social media marketing isn't just for businesses as well. You can social media market yourself as well. For example, if you're building a brand or you want to build a brand and get more people to know about the stuff you're doing, you can also market yourself there. So firstly, I say learn about your target audience. Your target audience are your preferred audience, the people who you want to buy from you, the people who you want to engage with. That is your target audience. So making sure you know who they are, where they're based, how old they are, what they like to do, making sure you have as much knowledge about them. So whatever you're doing is very much close to what they like. And that way you get a great response from them because it's not tone deaf. It's very much aligned to their values, what they look for from a brand and all those good stuff. Then creating engaging and interesting posts. No one wants to see just a boring post. People want to see something new, something that will keep them engaged. For example, if you do a funny video, people watch it throughout. People might even watch it again. Once you have creative, engaging, interesting content, it leads to people sharing it with friends, also other people now taking part in it. For example, if you do a challenge, people want to be part of that challenge as well. Being consistent in everything is extremely key, but mostly being consistent in social media helps you a lot because the more posts you do, the more likely people are going to come across your content. People are most likely to come across your product, your service, and that way people also take you for a more serious brand. If I come on an Instagram page and you haven't posted in a month or even a week, it shows that you're not as consistent. So you probably don't have that much capacity to keep on marketing your business. You're probably a smaller business, as only smaller business really struggle with those type of problems. And in order to stay consistent, you can schedule posts as well. You can use different platforms to make sure that you're staying on top of your content. So you can create content in bulk, and that way you now have it on a calendar. So on Monday, this will be posted. On Tuesday, this will be posted. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if you want to post every day of the week, or you could do it on a weekly basis as well. Also, try different content. You can try photos, videos, memes. Memes are doing really well on social media right now. So just seeing whatever's popping, seeing how you can relate that to your brand, and then making something interesting and engaging out of that as well. Then you can also write interesting captions as well, and making sure your captions, for example, asking people to leave a comment or asking a question that will lead people to leave in a comment, or something that explains more, not just selling. I think it's so important to understand that social media is for building a brand and giving value, not just you trying to sell a product. For example, if all you post on social media is buy now, this is on sale, this is on sale, people wouldn't really engage with it because you're not speaking to them, you're just shouting at them. So making sure whatever content you're creating is value driven, is going to help people to know better about your product, to know better about something, educational, informative, as well as entertaining as well. Then interacting with your audience. It's so important that you interact with your audience. For example, like I just said, making sure you're not just shouting at them saying buy from me or else, making sure you're saying this is our product, this is what we're about, this is what we do, this is something interesting about us. Making sure you're also understanding what your audience likes as well. But also when it comes to interacting, this could be simply responding to comments, liking comments, seeing whether you're speaking to them through your stories. So if you're putting up stories, asking them questions and resharing it, and then using hashtags as well. So for people to come across your brands, your product as well, you can use hashtags. For example, on TikTok, people use explore page, or people use, for example, if I was to post a sports video or music video, for the sports video, I would say sports. For the music video, I would say music UK, for example. When people are searching for something specific and they click on that search and that hashtag comes up, it allows you to be more discoverable as well. So it's super important to make sure you're using hashtags as well. And most importantly, I would say keep your brand human. No one wants to come across a brand on social media that looks like it's being created by robots. You want to have that human element. You want to make sure that you're keeping it, for example, your tone of voice, how your brand is not just one dimensional, but also multifaceted. You're covering different type of content. You're speaking on different type of topics, and it has that human feeling that, okay, there's actually a human being behind this account, not just some robots. So that is a very key piece of advice when it comes to social media marketing as well. So yeah, when it comes to creating a marketing strategy, and I feel like it's great to have a marketing strategy in place, or else you're just shooting darts in the dark. You don't know where you're pointing at. You don't know what you're trying to do. You're just swinging it and freestyling it. And it's not always the best look. It's always best to have a strategy to help you get the best results as well. So firstly, you need to have clear goals and measures of success. So whether your goal is to get to 100 followers, 1,000 followers, 1,000,000 followers, why not? Make sure you have clear goals of what you're trying to achieve. Secondly, make sure you have measures of success. So how do you know if you're on the right path to achieving your goal? How do you know whether you're failing, whether you're doing well? How do you know when you've reached the goal? So having measures of success, whether it's numbers. So we said 1 million followers, making sure by this time we're on 500K followers, or by this time we're on 1 million followers. So it's super important to make sure you can measure your successes as well. Then secondly, understanding what your business wants to achieve at that period of time and what's the best way to connect with your audience. When you're able to do that, that will help you come up with more purposeful content and content that will work on social media, as is very much in line with what your audience wants. Then to find out the best way to connect with your audience, you have to understand who your audience is, how old they are, where they're located, what problems do they face, what do they enjoy doing, what type of content works best for them, how do they like being spoken to. Once you're able to understand your audience more, then you can create more content for them that will work well, because they understand what you're putting in front of them, and it's very much speaks their language as well. Then once you kind of have that great understanding, you can now start putting content that will persuade them to buy from you, to be part of your community and all that good stuff as well. Then also making a decision on what platforms you want to market on. For example, we said you can market on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. There are endless amounts of social media platforms, but making a decision on which platforms you want to market on. And you can market on all of them, but making sure you're staying consistent on all of them. And like we said, all social media platforms have different type of content. So making sure you're making the best content for that platform, not just copy and pasting one photo from Instagram onto Twitter. For example, a photo on Instagram could now be translated into a written text on Twitter. It could be translated into a short video on TikTok, that kind of stuff, making sure you're putting out the best content for the right platform. And then making sure you're checking back on your data. So Instagram, all these platforms give you great insights into your data, into your analytics. So seeing how your brands are performing, how your marketing is performing, and making sure you're taking out of these results to make sure you're bettering your marketing, as it's an iterative process. So you keep on doing it and refining it as well. So those are some key tips on creating a marketing strategy. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask me.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That was really, really insightful and informative. Guys, if you have any questions in relation to creating a marketing strategy, please just raise your hands in using the raise hand function, and we will answer your questions. Or if you have any questions in general about business for me or for Shbomi, please just feel free to ask. Now's your chance. You know, today's our last session, so try and get as much out of us as possible. We're just going to give a few minutes to questions because we do have to round up soon. So if you do have any questions, please just raise up your hands. No questions?
I think Emmanuel just asked something now. Emmanuel, do you want to unmute or you want to?
How do you, okay, he's put in the chat, how do you create a website? So there's different ways of doing this. You can actually get a website, a web developer, so a professional to help you create a website. Or there are various other platforms you can actually use to create the website yourself. This is actually something that Shbomi is quite well versed on. So I will let you answer this question actually.
Yeah, cool. So like Pedro said, you can get a professional web developer, web designer. That's what we do. But you can also build it yourself. And I would recommend when you're starting out to build it yourself because it's not as complicated as it is. We all had to learn. For example, now that I do it for other people, I had to learn at some point. So it's great to learn while you're young. While you don't have the money to pay for someone else, you can build it yourself. You can use a web builder such as Shopify. Shopify works great for e-commerce products or businesses. So Shopify helps you in terms of creating, it gives you so many templates that work well for different types of businesses, and it also gives you access to great data when it comes to e-commerce. So e-commerce is selling online. So whether it's shoes, skincare, any type of products online is e-commerce. So Shopify, I would recommend for e-commerce. Then there's Squarespace. Squarespace is great for example, storefront businesses, for informational businesses, educational businesses. And then there's also Wix as well. I would recommend either or because they all are very responsive and very user-friendly when it comes to designing. So it's very much drag and place, all that kind of stuff. And then as you get kind of more well-versed in it, you can start doing stuff like coding, understanding different languages and how you can connect it to your website. Then you can also look into UX, UI as well, so user experience and user interface as well. I would actually recommend that some of you look into these things, that these are skills of the future. I've seen how beneficial it has been for me and how I've been able to create a business through learning just one skill. And there's a lot of people who are creating businesses out of these skills as well. Once you kind of are able to solve a problem for someone, you can then start making some nice money from it as well. So I would definitely recommend that you look into building websites and then start doing it for other businesses and other entrepreneurs as well. So yeah, that is Shopify, Wix, Squarespace. There's so many others such as Webflow as well. But yeah, YouTube helped me a lot when I was starting out. And even still, if I have a problem, I'll just go and search YouTube or check on Google. So once you get started out, it becomes a bit much easier and you start having a basic understanding of it as well. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I think just to also highlight the fact that a number of these platforms actually have themes that you can literally just, they've created it already, and all you need to do is just redesign it and put your own content into it. So it's not like you're coding anything or you're starting from scratch. But yeah, I hope that's answered your question. Any other questions?
Yes, Precious.
I'm good in computing, but I want to master it more. To create something from it, please recommend any site or tutorial page. Okay.
I can answer. So that's great, Precious. What my best advice would be to start thinking about what you really want to kind of specialize in. You don't have to box in yourself, but in terms of whether that is programming, once you start looking into programming, you start getting a much better knowledge of it, and you also can know what to look for online as well. So if it's programming, if it's design, there's so many contents out there, so many pages out there as well. A lot of stuff on YouTube is really good. So if you're just searching programming or how to write this language down or how to use a design, all that kind of stuff, I would definitely recommend YouTube a lot. There's a lot of video content that can help you become much more skilled and knowing how you can create something from it as well. But yeah, that would be kind of my best advice, to see what you want to do in computing and then start learning from it. And if you land on something, doesn't mean you have to stay there, but just kind of knowing what steps to take in terms of building something from computing, because computing is very broad. So now being able to narrow it down to stuff like engineering or coding or even user experience or design, that will help you in terms of finding much more tutorials and much more informational guides to get there.
Yeah, I would just also like to say that there is a coding workshop that's coming up shortly, and we'll talk about that at the end, but that might be very useful for you, Precious. Do you have any other questions? We've only got a few more minutes. Anyone else? If we don't have any more. Social media details, yes, of course. Shomi, do you want to type in your personal and your business social media pages, please? And then, okay, if we have no more questions, what I would actually like you guys to do is, based on everything that we've gone through in these sessions, I want you guys to actually think about what your next steps are going to be. So what are you actually going to do next as a result of everything that you've learned, all the things that we've worked on together? So really write down some action points and things that you're going to do so that you can actually launch your businesses and launch it successfully. So I've just got a few things here, some examples. Develop your skills, what skills the skills that you need to actually run your businesses successfully, in terms of skills within the business. So if you are making clothes, if it's like you want to learn how to sew, if you are, or is it that you want to learn more leadership skills or communication skills? Get some work experience if you can. You can try and see if you can shadow someone who's doing it already, and just get some work experience in that remit. We spoke about finances and how much you need to start your business. So if it's that you need to save up some money to actually start, then do that. If it's actually that you're at the point where you can start creating your products and creating samples, then do that. Start creating samples, get people to test it out, your friends, your family, see how they find it, and then you can launch. If it's that you're actually in a very good space already, then you can do a photo shoot to actually start showing the world your business, advertising and marketing your business. Or you can create a price list if you haven't even done that yet. What we spoke about, the finance section on the business plan. Create a marketing strategy like we've gone through today. Create a social media campaign so that you have a buzz around when you're ready to launch your business. At the moment, a lot of people are doing giveaways on social media. So again, it's really important to try and do that. Or if you are ready to launch, you can start working on your logo, start working on your website. Guys, I really want you to actually start taking action based on everything that you've learned so that you are ready to launch and launch successfully. So I do hope that you have found these sessions very, very, very useful. We've learned a lot so far. And I just want to give you a quick tip before we leave. And that's just to say that you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. Your journey is different and your journey is unique to you. And so what I would say is water the grass in your garden, develop yourself, work on yourself and remain consistent. And your time is coming. And I'm so excited to see the success that comes out as a result of this for all of you. So thank you so much for participating in these sessions. And it's been an absolute pleasure from me. I'm just going to hand over now.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, Peju. Please, guys, shout out to Peju, please, in the chat. Thank you very, very much. I'm sure you've had a lovely time. I have had a blast, I can tell you that. And thank you so much, Shubomi, for coming on, as well for sharing your experience, your knowledge, actually, with marketing with us. I definitely will be in touch. So thank you so much. Guys, please show your love to Peju. It's been an amazing session. Just before we round up, a quick one. Again, I'm going to talk about course, another workshop that is coming up. Please, Peju, if you can project that flyer for me, if possible. The flyer, yeah. So that's the one. That's the next one that's coming up. So please listen out. Exploring the coding space is going to happen sometime in April, I believe. Yes, April. And the lady that's going to be facilitated is going to be excited. I'm excited about this one as well. You're going to learn so much about coding. She's a certified Google CS educator. So watch out for when we start promoting this workshop. Jump on board. Don't wait for us to say too much. Just get on it, register for it. It's free anyway. You don't have to pay for it. So yeah, something to look forward to. Remember to go to our website as well, www.courseforchildren.co.uk. We are on Twitter, we are on Facebook and Instagram. So please go and like us. When you see feedback from this session, just say something about it. I think Shubomi has said a lot about that. So guys, you're there, we're there, show us some love. There is a questionnaire that I will be sending to you by email. Please do complete that questionnaire. It's very important for us because we use that to prepare for, it will inform other workshops that we're going to deliver. And certificates, I can't overemphasize that. Please, I'm just going to wait for your responses today. After today, if I don't get anyone's, I'm just going to issue those certificates in the names that which you have registered, and that will be it. So please, if you know you haven't registered your right name, just send us your name so that we can write it in your name. And lastly, I would need you to go to slido.com. Please, it's important. I know you've learned so much, and I have. Go and just give us your honest opinion about this session, these 3 workshops that you've had. Peju mentioned earlier on, about your mission statements, and I did say to her that ours is to empower our youth to thrive. If you think we're delivering on that we're empowering you and you're thriving, then why not just go and give us, just give us your love, share your thoughts so that other young people around might want to come and join our workshops in the future and also be empowered, learn more so that they can thrive in whatever, they want to do. So it's been a pleasure being with you this 3 weeks, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in April when we will start our the workshop, which will be on coding. So yes, have a lovely afternoon, and a big thank you again to Peju and to Shubomi for coming on board. Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon.